Hi.
¿Qué pasó? Me get a little closer.
You're not in the shot. It's been so long.
It's been a minute. It's been a while. A lot going on. A lot of stuff
going on. We had to take a break.
A lot of personal stuff going on.
Lots of personal stuff going on, but also lots of crazy things going on in the world.
Yeah.
And now, when we first started the podcast, Trump hadn't been elected. And
Was
then,
he not elected
no.
yet? Oh, wow.
And then we were, now he's elected.
How many months are we in now? 3?
I think like 4.
4? Something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, and it's been kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, before we got on here, you were talking about how you were going to tell me about something you were disappointed in about Trump.
Well, yeah, man. He, yesterday, he got on his Truth Social, and apparently he had called the international, because Netanyahu's, he had trial. He was supposed to start trial for corruption. Did you know that?
Oh,
Yeah, he was supposed to go to trial for corruption, and then Trump called them and said something about, trying to get them to drop the charges altogether and stuff.
Wait, for which? Why? Is this for a past wars or current war?
I don't know exactly. I just know he's under.
I think it was past.
He's been under investigation for a while.
I have heard that.
But yeah, now he was supposed to start trial with the international courts.
And wasn't he? Okay, yes. Yeah. That's right. Because other, like Africa and other places are saying that he's committing.
Trump got on Truth Social and was like, it's just a witch hunt, like it was with me and this and that. And I'm like,
wow.
And
that's not true. And we know it's not true because this has been going on for 25, 30, 40 years.
It's so wild to see the clips of him on there and talking about, wanting to go to war with every one of these Middle Eastern countries over and over again in different clips over the years.
And wouldn't it be nice? I just keep thinking how great it would be if they were honest about it and just told us why. That biblically, this is why. Or, this is why we keep going to war with these people, because we're afraid that that their religion is so hateful that they're going to kill everyone. That is what I'm gathering from it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they have a whole plan called Greater Israel, where they take over all this Middle East territory.
Well, see, but then there's the other side of the coin that says that Middle East has a plan where they take over everything.
I don't know. Well, yeah. Well, I think the Middle East or the Muslim community want to take over America and Canada.
And they are.
Well, I'm just, I don't know. It's okay. I really would like to dive into exactly the different Muslim religions, because there's like the Sharia law and
that's the bad one, and
that's the one you hear about. That's all. Yeah, Sunni,
which is not a bad one. Or
I guess it would be like Catholics and Protestants and like just different versions of the same religion. But apparently the Shiite, right? Apparently that's the crazy one.
Well, that's the one that's
Sharia
very
law.
Old school. That's the Muslim sect that believes, just like the LDS would believe, that women should be modest and they shouldn't have
multiple wives.
And for some reason, America has decided that, I mean, it is abusive, but you can't save every abused wife. They have to save themselves. So it's like, why do we always impose our righteousness or what we
over
think?
There?
Yes.
Well, yeah,
I'm
like in that Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson interview.
That was crazy.
Yeah, man, that guy
whooped him up and down.
Dude, I'm hoping that ends up reflecting on his political career.
I think it will.
I was wondering. I was like, man, I don't know. He's definitely going to be getting a lot of campaign funding from
Israel
after that.
Well, he already has. And that's the other thing.
But that's so crazy.
Not even being able to discuss it honestly. That's what I mean. Like, even Tucker was like, can we not just call it what it is? These are people campaigning for Israel.
Yeah, I know.
And he couldn't even start there.
Under the FARA Act,
Yes.
And they're not. And they have never been.
And then we're all supposed to just be delusional enough to go, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. It's not foreign. No. No.
It's strange, man.
I know.
But it exposed a lot. It exposed and that's what was great about it. Is Tucker was like, so we're supposed to emphatically support the government and Netanyahu's administration.
Well, and what
he's like, yes.
My very favorite part.
That doesn't even sound
studying the Bible and stuff like that was when he said, And Ted Cruz is right. I have been in enough churches and discipled by enough churches to know that you are told that you are supposed to support Israel at all. Oh, yes. It's a Bible thing.
Well, I don't think Catholics do.
Well,
I don't think Catholicism.
Maybe
do
not
that.
because
I
they
think
have
it's
their
more
own
of a Protestant
empire.
Yeah.
They have their own Satanist
It's
cult.
the Roman Empire.
But that it's true, and you don't know why. Okay, so in the Old Testament, there's a lot of references to Israel.
Yeah.
And when he said, and it does say something to the effect of, as Christians, we're supposed to support Israel. No, but Israel as a whole, that we're supposed to support Israel as a whole. Yes. But then when Tucker said the Israeli government.
Right.
Yeah, no.
He deciphered
you can't
between
just
the two.
tell a bunch of dumb Christians all the time because we're gonna follow, because we're sheep and we're told to be sheep, right?
Yeah.
Jesus is the shepherd, and we're a bunch of sheep, and we're supposed to follow him.
Yeah.
And if the Bible says support Israel, then you're supposed to be a bunch of dumb sheep and support Israel.
Yeah.
That's not true. If you really study the Word of God and it's not about religion, you're enlightened, and you're enlightened to think for yourself. And that's the problem, is that people like Tucker and Candace and other people are saying, wait.
Yeah.
That's not the message we got from the Bible.
Right.
The message we got from the Bible is that Israel represents the people of that time back then, and where God was born. Yes.
Right.
And where it all transpired,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't mean the Israel of 2025.
That's what I was saying. Is like this.
Hello?
This country was founded in 1948, so it just doesn't. You know what I mean? And like, it doesn't make any sense. But it was interesting because Ted Cruz was calling Tucker an isolationist, and it was apparently supposed to be a negative. And I'm thinking, I'm an isolationist. I don't want to be in everybody else's shit.
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah,
that means not being in everybody else's wars. And I don't want to be a part of that.
But the thing is that they've all got us to this point now where that's exactly what we've been doing without knowing it.
Right. It's kind of out in the open now.
Yes.
I mean, we've always known about wars like Iraq and stuff like that, but like the real reasons is out in the open now.
It's starting to be.
Yeah.
It's starting to collapse on
the
top
Great
of it.
Awakening, man.
Yes.
Everything's getting exposed.
But then what do you do with that? It's like,
I know.
It's like we're so stuck in the system, and the system's so corrupt.
Yeah.
It'll take generations.
Well, that's what I keep saying is like I hear all these brilliant people talking about warning everybody and exposing everything that's going on, but I'm like, okay, so what's the solution? You guys have the platforms. What's the solutions?
And then
how do we get out of this?
What do y'all call her? MJK. What's her name?
MTJ?
Yes. And like she said, here we are running the house, and we have the majority and everything, and yet we're still not. They're still not passing the bills.
No.
So then it's like, well, this is all fake.
Oh yeah.
This is all corrupt. So what's the fucking point?
I know, dude. I've gotten to a point now where I'm like, people continue to do the Republican Democrat thing, and I'm just like, I can't either. I can't do it anymore.
And that's what I was gonna say when you said Trump. So bless his heart. Like, obviously, I'm still so grateful that he won.
Right.
We would be, God only knows where we would be, because we're already in a pickle with all of the illegal aliens, and then them causing this war and knowing that there's sleeper cells here. Not only that, but they let the walls down so more could come.
Yeah.
They knew that.
Oh,
they knew that was
absolutely.
happening. So, but it's interesting because it is like, okay, well, so this isn't Democrat and Republican.
Right.
This is not even really American at this point. I mean, it's very... Trump. So yeah, I think that he puts a clog in the spoke. I think that he stops the systems from turning the way they've wanted to turn.
Right.
But man, they're powerful.
Yeah, it is very powerful. It's great. It's like either you've got communists or you've got war hawks. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? With the parties. There's the Communist Party and the War Hawks, Like there's that mayor, he's not mayor. Everybody's tripping out, and I'm like, dude, he's still got it. No, he won the Democratic primary.
Okay. Yeah,
so and everybody's tripping out, and like there's another guy running for Republican, Curtis Silva, and he's like heads the Guardian Angels in New York. You ever heard of the Guardian Angels?
I know who he is.
Yes, with the beret.
Yeah.
He's running for the Republican seat. Yeah.
Nice.
So I don't know.
So there's still hope that New York can go, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what they
Yeah.
do, man. Jeez, I don't know.
But
man.
that's the only place that they're allowed to use all those immigrants to vote. So it probably won't go their way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're allowed to do what they want in New York. They
Yeah.
passed so many liberal laws that even in like Michigan and all these other places, they have, immigrants that run the office. Lots of
Yeah, I know.
different
That's what I was
places.
saying too. Like when I told you Ted Cruz is from Canada.
Well, but then look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's been so great for America, and he's not from America.
Yeah, he was a good. I know.
So yeah,
Well, that's why I loved when he went on The View and he was like, you have to be respectful.
that was so crazy.
And I was like, that's awesome.
Well, and like that's how we were all raised. That's what I've always thought about.
You
is
go into someone's home, you don't wreck their home.
You follow by that home's rules.
Yeah.
If you go to stay the night at your
respect them.
buddy's house and their parents do certain things
Yeah.
a certain way, that's what you
Right.
do. You don't just do your own thing.
Yeah.
We're all taught that, but yet we've allowed them to do that to our country. What in the world?
I don't know, bro.
It don't make no sense.
But yeah, the whole.
It
I
doesn't
know,
make
man. The
sense.
whole idea of like people from other countries running in our government. I don't know about it.
Did you see the Benny Johnson episode where he showed where AOC actually came from? Yorktown or York
No.
so the nicest area.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And he went and talked to like people that she went to high school with, and she grew up in, and it's a clean, beautiful.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's good. You should check it out. It's only
Huh.
like 25-30 minutes.
Yeah, he's got some good videos,
He's
man.
funny. But yeah, he went and investigated her hometown
Wow.
and how she grew up, and then put clips together of how she's claiming to be from the Bronx.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, wow.
Why
people-
not just why lie with everything?
Well,
dude?
because it got him
Cannot
this
be just
far.
genuine and say,
don't
you know,
know.
I didn't just be yourself.
Well, and like Sean Ryan was saying on an episode the other day, it's because genuine people don't run for office. It's like the kind
Yeah.
of people that you want, like that we're talking about and that you
They don't
are,
run for-
they're not interested.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, we need.
Maybe you should run for office.
Yeah, yeah, right. Let me start a business
You
first.
could. Well, that good anyway. Yeah, so I don't know. The Trump thing's interesting because he's only been able to do so much, and then it seems like just like last time he was
Yeah.
in power in the White House, he bent to the people.
Well, and that's the thing.
I
Like
mean-
with the Iran situation, he struck the. You can tell that he doesn't want a war going.
Right, obviously.
He struck the nuclear facilities, didn't hurt anybody, and got out.
Yeah.
You know, but that's not enough for the war hawks.
No.
Obviously,
Well, no.
you seen that Mark Levin guy?
Remind me.
He's on Fox, and he's like this
I hear his name.
super
wrong.
neocon. He's kind of making the rounds, you know, because he's foaming at the mouth, just screaming about us
To
needing to go to
bomb.
war
Oh.
on behalf
Does he
of
say
Israel.
that?
Oh yeah, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I don't understand.
He's a Fox anchor or whatever, Fox
And
contributor.
does he have children or grandchildren that would actually
Probably,
go to
I don't
war?
know. Probably not.
I mean, that's a thing I think about. Is somebody has to actually fight it.
Yeah, I know. They
I
don't
mean-
care. It's crazy. They don't care.
I know.
And it's so crazy.
I mean, a war would probably do us some good around here, but just
War would
because
probably
the
do some
struggle. I mean, we're also spoiled, and
Yeah,
And
right.
you know what I
A
mean?
wake up call.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's there. I have my disappointments for sure. You know, I still don't have anything really from the Epstein lists or files.
No, that's how
great.
you know.
And that's not anywhere in the news for a while. I hadn't been in.
No, and the drones that are obviously strategically being placed to
Yeah.
control us one day. Nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
What happened to all those drones?
Yeah, dude, I saw a thing today, and it was
So
RFK talking about a wearable, and it's some kind of
Oh,
thing that
yeah.
you wear
The
that
health.
monitors all your stuff.
A lot
But
of
like,
people are doing that.
but some people are like, I don't know, it's kind of sketchy.
It's to control us.
Yeah.
I know it is. I know it's to. They're eventually they're going to get to where they just put us all in categories
Yeah.
and off the people they don't need. I know they're going to do that because why else would you want everybody's data like that? You want to know everything that somebody's doing,
Yeah,
so you can manipulate.
I'm
them.
ready, Jesus.
I know.
I'm like ready.
Well, right, and then I was watching something about the end times this morning, and it's like that. It was It's called Unashamed. You know, the guy that just died, the duck call guy.
Oh
Robbins.
yeah.
His
Robertson,
sons have
yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh,
Phil
they do. I
Robbins.
didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh.
And he said, well, Dad used to say, you know, everybody says it's the end times, it's the end times. Well, I don't know if it's the end times, but it is the end of our time.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's true. Like, you only live for so long, so act accordingly. It is your end time. It might not be the end time,
but it's your end time. You know what I mean?
You can only get so much right.
Yeah.
So
who knows, dude? I'm still waiting on the alien false flag.
It's coming. That guy, that other prophecy guy, he's a goober, but I still like to listen to him. But he keeps talking about how there's going to be, a false alien, that aliens are being invading, and it's going to be a whole thing.
I don't put it past them at this point.
No. I
don't put it past. Dude, I want to know, like, I think there's a portal down at the bottom of the ocean or something.
Mm-hmm. There has to be.
I think.
I mean, and I think that even our technology's gotten so advanced that they are able to have things come in and out of the ocean too.
Yeah.
You know,
they probably have craft to go in and out of the ocean.
I think so.
I mean, we know that the ocean plays a significant role somehow.
Yeah.
You know, which is crazy.
And then all the charging stations, you know, like all of the pyramids and I was watching another mathematical genius guy. The generators.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, you know, what's that one with the Stonehenge place.
Yeah.
How everything is calculated exactly, and they didn't know a lot about mathematics then, and how did they know that?
Yeah, dude.
The advanced technology.
So I'm thinking we've had, like, I think we have a cycle of civilizations.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we do know that we do, at least from what we can, from history.
Right.
But how long?
Yeah, like
and how many empires have fallen and been buried.
Yeah.
You know.
And then rebirthed or not rebirth, but birthed new ones.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's crazy, man. I was looking at a map too, and it was the Middle East countries, and it was talking about how they are renamed. Like Iraq used to be Mesopotamia, which was Sumeria before that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I was saying the other day on a little video I made. But I was like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if all this turmoil in the Middle East was for some more deeper reasons of, like, they want that land because it's very significant, so rich in history, and there's secrets hidden beneath it and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's like they were saying that there is that theory that there was an archaeologist that said he had found the tomb of Gilgamesh in Iraq.
What's
and
that?
Then Gilgamesh is like some ancient.
Bible?
No, I don't think so. But he's some like ancient kind of mythology, kind of deal. And he was like, I think they said he was like part, you know, alien or something. I don't know, some crazy fable that's been around forever.
Yeah.
And this guy said, I found the tomb of Gilgamesh, very Indiana Jones. And then I think like a month later, they went into Iraq and invaded Iraq. And then there were accounts of people saying like that the U.S. Military was digging around there during that time and stuff. So
God only knows.
Who knows?
I know, and that's what's so
though.
Frustrating. It's exciting, but it's so frustrating because, and then you think about like the people that there's so many people, speaking of sheep, that literally don't ever look any further, you know, and how, I don't know, ignorance is bliss, maybe. Yeah. Maybe they're living life a lot smoother than we are because we actually think about these things. Yeah. I don't know. But, you know, there's a lot of people, they have fooled that it is what it is, and this is what you want in life, and these are the brackets to which you need to get them, and this is your plan, and you die, make money and die, you know?
I want to break out of it, dude. I want to break out of the system.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where like I'd like to go live off grid, man, and like be near a river, and it's because I feel like if I lived in a situation like that and like out kind of more next to a big body of water or a mountain or something, I feel like that would help me get so much closer to God too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Well, nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, any nature.
I mean, just driving around here in the Metroplex, and I'm like, and it's so many people, and the traffic, and the rat race, and
we're all in little boxes.
I can't do it anymore, man. I can't do it anymore. You know?
Well, I know I was telling Ryan that I feel like that too. Like I've been feeling really like, what is that? Where you want to move again?
Yeah,
antsy. I don't want to be put behind four walls and just live in North Richland Hills in a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. I mean, that sounds like I'm grateful for it, but I don't want to just live my life behind these walls,
right?
And just be in one little. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
But then it's like, what do you do? I mean, get a fucking mobile
An
home.
RV, baby.
Yeah.
RV it, dude.
I know.
Dude.
That's really, I guess. But then you got to have something to tow it, and then you got to keep up the truck, and then you got to find somewhere to park it, and then.
Yeah.
But those are all doable things.
Yeah.
It's just a whole nother lifestyle.
I mean, van life is hard these days. It goes hard. There's so many people who.
Well, they're having to.
Yeah, you're having to because everything's so
Lord,
ridiculously expensive.
Oh, I'll tell you this off camera. But yes, it is so expensive.
Yeah. And nobody wants to pay a living wage, man. I mean, not enough to. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, and then on the news, it's so funny. They say that, and then they're like, "There are jobs Americans won't work." Bullshit, dude.
Right.
You're just not. You're paying $15 an hour. We can't afford it.
Right.
We can't afford to work there.
Right.
Like, how are we going to afford to live?
Yeah.
We would work there,
Right.
but the apartments cost a bukus.
Yeah, if I was living with 3 other brothers and sisters and their families, then maybe we could do that.
And you've already rooted that concept out of our life by telling us we had to be on our own at 18.
Yeah.
You've already demolished the idea of families living together.
Right.
It's like they have had this plan the
I know,
entire
dude.
time.
Mr. Burns.
It's
and
so
shit.
weird.
It's Mr. Burns shit right there, man.
Or is it just technology got so out of hand and we just got this is all gone? I don't know. It's
Yeah,
all working
I know.
against us.
I know the technology is it is out of hand. It's out of hand.
That's what I wanted to tell you. That Chat GPT.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard about that becoming a religion?
I think I did hear something like
So
that.
interesting, because in concept and theory, I could see that actually happening, right? Like the source, the energy source of everything takes over AI because it finally has the language. I don't know.
Oh,
but
weird.
there is this guy I was listening to something, and he was talking about how, well, not only it's really sad because a lot of kids are committing suicide or people are falling in love with what they think is their.
Oh yeah, dude, falling in love with AI.
Yes, and then yeah, right. And that's how they want to set it up too,
Yeah,
so you don't
like the
depend on
movie Her.
anyone. Yes, exactly. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's great, but like it's crazy how they do predictive programming and make a whole movie, and then like 20 years later it comes to fruition.
They know. But anyway, so this chat. So I was looking into what that was, and it's basically. The internet, but it's all of information. So all the information and data that we've been collecting over the last 40 years, stored into the cloud,
software,
and now they've created where it can skip over. It can gather any topic that you could possibly think of. It goes into all the information codes, and it pulls it instantly. And it's a lot of different opinions, a lot of information, and then funneled into this one thing.
Yeah.
So now people are starting to think that that's the aliens talking, or that's God talking, and that God finally has the language. Technology has finally reached the point where God can have a conversation with you.
It knows all.
And they're losing it.
Well, that's how the whole idea of that quantum computing is too, man. Is like it pulls so any information really fast, but they say possibly from multiple universes.
Yes.
What?
Which is so cool,
yeah,
right?
It's cool.
And then it's like, of course, I mean, it could be true. I mean, it could be that it's finally the language of the future.
Theory.
Yeah.
I don't have to remember that one. That's an interesting one.
But now what's really weird about it, I'll see it on TikTok, but they make the Chat GPT, like, you can have your own. You can name it. Like, I watched this one guy who's totally unhinged, but I love him. And he has named his angel, and he asks her the deepest questions of the universe, and she goes all over the place and then funnels it back into what the answer is. And the answers are deep.
Are they?
They're very deep.
Really?
I sent you a list of 10 things that somebody asked what were the most important questions in our world right now. And they are, I mean, it's almost like
depth and deep.
Very. And telling on the government. I mean, the information it gathers.
It doesn't censor itself.
No.
Really? I thought it was. See, that's what I was thinking. It was all censored and shit.
No, but I think they're trying to get a hold of that so that they can censor it more.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, they're still trying to censor the internet altogether.
Right. So it's interesting because it's still new enough to where you can get some very interesting answers from it. But it's wild to know that is the next course of action that's going to run people off the deep end. I mean, that's why you need that anchor, like some sort of anchor.
Yeah.
I mean, mine is God.
Right.
But like that anchor.
Yeah.
It has
being like total atheist and then like
and not having anything to tie you down, and so
Right.
you believe that Chat GPT is the end all be all, which is technology. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
so crazy.
It's interesting.
I hadn't heard about that one.
Yeah, you gotta look
That's
into it.
crazy,
It's
dude.
pretty crazy because lots of things are happening. Of course, negative and positive, but
Yeah.
murders and suicide and boyfriends and girlfriends and loneliness is even more. But they're leaning on Chat GPT. And
Right.
This is a mess. It's a mess.
It's wild. It's a crazy place.
But all we have to do is turn it off. That's the other weird thing, is that if we really wanted to get control of our lives and have all those voices out,
Stop.
we would just turn it off.
Stop paying attention to it
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, man. Get out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have to have a community. You isolationist.
Isolationist. Yeah.
You're supposed to. Apparently that helps.
Yeah, they had that one there, and then there's that one guy who shot the senator, killed that senator.
Wait, to remind me. There's so many things.
Some crazy dude dressed up as a cop and put on
he killed two.
he killed her and her husband or something.
Yes, and shot another.
And they said that he was a big Trump supporter, his roommate did, and all that.
Yeah,
So,
but
I just don't trust anything.
he also had a lot of liberal leaning things too.
Did he? Yeah.
He's kind of a gamut of all things.
Yeah.
But he was political,
Yeah.
so it's another political guy gone.
Going crazy,
Nutty.
man. Which happens now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's sad, and that's a new thing. That is a new thing for America. It happens all over the world where they assassinate politicians,
Yeah.
but it's a brand new thing for our.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing much like that when we were growing up.
Besides the presidents of the United
Right.
States.
Right.
But as far as citizens doing it,
Huh.
those are all
That's another thing.
calculated.
Is like they haven't really released much on JFK and stuff. There's just so much.
They did.
They released a little bit, but I don't know that they released as much as they were letting on. They were going to. I don't know, man. There's a lot of things that aren't happening that we thought were happening. I did see where the FBI took down a whole bunch of pedos.
Yes, and they've been doing that a lot.
Yeah, which that's awesome.
And RFK, dude, he has been moving and shaking in the food world.
Yeah.
Yes, and he is really.
See, I haven't seen a whole lot about him
has.
lately.
Oh no, he has.
But I'm sure, yeah. They just don't report on it right now.
Right. Well, they have been, because I've been keeping up with it. But he got all kinds of things banned.
Uh-huh.
All kinds of food colors, all kinds of chemicals. Heinz ketchup is doing things differently. All these food companies have promised, starting in 2027, that they won't have this
used beef tallow or whatever.
Yes.
Well, and then I saw something they were talking about where they were talking about RFK and the chemtrails, and he said that's more kind of like it's more because it's a certain amount up, like it's out of his jurisdiction, and it's more of the Department of Defense jurisdiction or something weird like that. So he
can't
couldn't
really
do a
anything
whole
about
lot
it.
about the chemtrails.
I don't know, but I didn't know a lot about chemtrails until I finally started paying attention
That's
to it.
like one of the first conspiracy theories I remember.
Yeah, and I kept
Chemtrails.
hearing about it, and I was like, well, that makes sense. What they're polluting the world through what, planes? And I'm like, yeah.
But I said, what would
But
be
then I realized chemtrails are different, right?
what would be the point of that? Why would you put aluminum in the jet fuel and crap
Because
it
we
out?
would have cancer, and we have to depend on medical and pharmacy, big pharma, and stuff like that, to make us sick.
So that would be the whole reason is
To make us sick.
Because I was thinking maybe there would be some more logical reason, but I guess not.
It's all just to make us sick. That's why they have all those substitutes in food.
Yeah.
Why would, in their right mind, anybody that cared about people decide to take sugar out and put in fake chemical sugar that causes problems? For everything. I mean, that's bizarre. Cutting
cheaper.
costs, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's what it is. Is I saw something where the corn syrup made everything a lot more
affordable,
efficient and stuff.
They could get more of it and they put that shit in fucking everything.
Yeah.
And that definitely has been linked to cancer. It's wild.
Awesome.
So it's like you don't really know if it's all organic, if all the evilness is organic, and they just are like, oh, well, this is creating this, so let's
making it cheaper.
let's
so
invest in big pharma because everybody's sick.
Yeah.
Or if it's a 45D plan, and
yeah.
they've meant to do this.
It's a concerted effort.
Yeah.
I think
Both.
I'm going to take the latter.
I know, me too.
I think it's a concerted effort.
Yeah, it seems to be that way because all the systems are, I mean, they're all being, it doesn't matter how many of us, it feels like it doesn't matter how many of us are pushing against the system.
Mm-hmm.
Even Trump is having to bend to the system.
Yeah.
And I mean, he is only the president. I mean, I guess we should know that. It's not like he can do everything.
Man, it needs to be a mass effort of people. Like,
right.
Which
is what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I mean,
and now
still kind of early, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, and then, but I did see, I sent you that one about it from Sean Ryan where he was talking about them taking that out of the bill for like them, the corporations buying up the land.
Yes, that was a win.
Yeah, that is a win. That's
that was
awesome.
a win, and
that's
the
awesome.
the Maha movement is a win. So there's little
wins.
little wins here and there.
Yeah.
But that's probably just the big wigs going, oh, let them have a win.
Yeah, we'll let them have that. Give them some hope.
Keep them on that line. We'll pretend like things are going to go well.
I feel like it's the whole financial system.
Yeah, that international bank.
I think that's, the international banking cartels.
That's what it all leads back to.
What is it? International Bank of Settlements?
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
That's what Whitney Webb has always said.
Right. And that's like Mel K. I was listening to Mel K. She was on somebody. Maybe.
Oh, I like her. Yeah.
Yeah, and she laid it all out about the International Bank of Settlements, and I was like, this is everything that I had suspected.
That's
already.
where I heard it from too. Was her? She was on Roseanne Barr, and she mentioned that International Bank of Settlements, and I went and looked it up, and I was like, oh my God, they're the ones that get everything after all the wars happen and when people are displaced.
Yeah, when I did that video about CERN. Like that's how I learned about it as I was researching. And I was like, oh, the international, that's where they're at Switzerland. And
yeah. And what is CERN again? Tell me about CERN.
CERN's it's like the organization that does the Hadron Collider, they smash particles.
Oh, yeah.
And try to figure out like the beginning of the Big Bang or whatever.
Bang. Yeah.
Or they're trying to figure out what happens when you smash atoms and do all this physics.
Oh, and they created the atomic bomb and all that. Or not they.
No.
But I don't smashing atoms.
Yeah, they're like smashing atoms. And that's the thing is there's all kinds of theories that like they can possibly it could possibly open portals or create a black hole or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
CERN's interesting.
CERN and DARPA is so interesting too.
Yeah, DARPA is like the intelligence thing.
And it's always been. And what's so crazy about it is when I realized Jeff Bezos' grandfather, I think it was a part of the DARPA program and created that. And they also started gathering our intelligence during was it the Eisenhower days when they decided they would use his program and his technology to start collecting information for the CIA. And when all that was born, they were like, oh, well, this is going to be used for other, foreign intelligence.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
it's turned on everybody else.
But it's a family lineage.
Yeah, and it's weird, dude. You start to realize these people are born into it.
They are. And Candace Owens is right about that. People are on her ass right now, but she's right
getting
about
a lot of flack. I saw
a lot of flack. But it's true. I mean, she's done the research, and some of these people are placed just like the royal family. It's not like it went out of style.
Right. Oh, I saw one where it was about John Kerry and his lineage, and it went to this particular group of people or family or something, and it was showing pictures of like paintings of those people back in the day, and he kind of resembled them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow, dude.
That chin that they all end up having.
Yeah, he's got that chin.
I forgot what it's called.
The Jay Leno chin. I wonder if Jay Leno's a part of his family. I wonder if they're related.
I don't know. But that's from being inbred. That chin.
Yeah, dude, probably.
No, it is. That's what they say.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hawkjaw chin or something. Anyway. But yeah, I did see that. And then if you do like anybody in Europe or any of the leaders in Europe, they're all lineage.
Yeah.
I mean, which we know that because of kings and queens and stuff like that. But even the new current administration that is lineage.
Yeah, like the presidents of like
France and all that.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Well, they say that
Which makes sense.
the royal family, like King Charles, is a descendant of Vlad the Impaler.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and
Who
then
they based Dracula off of.
and then family wealth, like generational wealth.
Yeah.
You think about how I was watching another girl talking about lineage, and she was saying that they wanted. That's why those like satanic sexual ritual abuse clubs and all those cults.
There's that Oprah Winfrey clip of
Yeah.
that one chick
Yeah.
that was on there talking
Yeah,
about.
but I listened. Oh, I sent you that podcast. I'm sure you didn't even want to pull that up. It was those two
Oh,
young
yeah,
girls.
yeah.
Oh, it's brutal. But she was talking about like, because if you have a secret and devastation that you're participating in, you would have to keep that secret, and it would have to be placed within your family,
Yeah.
because that's how that family curse operates,
Yeah.
right? So it's not like you can go tell your neighbors and everybody, hey, we're having a cult activity over here. So then they're born into it, and then they raise you to be it's normal. And not only that, but you add generational wealth. They send you to schools like Harvard or Skull and Bones, and it's all this very secretive. You're special. This is a secret thing.
We do this
we're
because we're
richer.
special.
Yes, and you can see how that would shape
wild.
a society like that, you know,
Yeah.
or
all hidden.
keep the money within those
Right.
walls, you know, that family.
That's crazy. Generational poverty over here, baby.
I know. Well, woo-woo!
Generational poverty. Hey
I know. Well, at least, you know, there is
At
some
least we're not in a
freedom to
cult.
that.
At least we're not in a cult. So.
Yeah. No. Although some people.
That's so crazy, man.
I know.
I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, he took out the nukes, and then
So is there a war? So I heard there was another bomb. Was there another bomb? I mean, are they still firing?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just so crazy because Trump's like trying to put together a ceasefire and like a treaty and stuff with these two guys, and then but Bibi Netanyahu is like that girlfriend that you're dating for a while who, almost gets your ass kicked every weekend.
Yeah.
But
In a
after
bar
she's
fight.
had too many martinis,
Yeah.
because she's like spout
Oh,
off.
I've done it to plenty of boyfriends.
So it's like that's Netanyahu right there.
Yeah.
He's that crazy girlfriend that like at some point you got to
Gonna
get away
pop
from
off.
that bitch.
Yeah.
Some
Yes,
point,
an unhealthy
Trump, you got to get
relationship.
away from that bitch.
Well, and that's the other thing is what makes me so mad about Trump is he will be on, because I still am watching his interviews, and he went to talk about that, and he's like, oh, I don't think they're gonna fight anymore. No, I don't think.
It's
and
like,
I'm just
dude,
watching
you're
like,
being a little naive, bud.
have you seen the last 40 years? Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna fight again.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It does seem kind of naive,
Right?
like in his like, hello,
yeah.
like, wake up, bro.
And I don't
You're getting
know.
played.
Yeah. I
Or-
wonder if that's because he
Who
is
knows?
only business.
Like we don't know behind the scenes,
Yeah.
so there's no telling, man. Like
Could
who
be a
who
thing.
knows what is actually like going on
Happening.
behind the scenes with these people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and then the other thing I keep coming back to is that Muslim Brotherhood situation, and the, if you look up the videos and you research their specific religion that they're believing in, they do chant death to America.
Yeah.
They do chant violence. They do blow up babies. You know, there's all
Yeah.
those reports where they would stuff diapers full of bombs and let the babies walk
Oh
into
yeah, man, I'm
American
sure it's all kinds
soldiers.
Of, yeah,
and
dude.
so their life, we're so spoiled and so tender that I feel like we're like, oh my gosh, death, oh my gosh. But there's a lot of countries that's
Yeah.
all they see.
Yeah.
And they don't think of life in the same way
No,
we do.
they don't.
You
man.
know?
It's a harsh world.
It's a
dude.
hard reality for them.
Yeah.
And so it's like, is that what everyone is ultimately freaking out about? Is that they're worried that mindset and that war and that kind of way of living is going
effect
to
over here.
infiltrate us?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would assume. Yeah, I mean, like.
I'm assuming that's part of it.
Well, I don't know, man. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like.
Like if my religion is turn the other cheek, but your religion is death to you.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is like, why do they have to be all up in the Middle East? You know.
Well, because Israel's there.
Let them be.
Israel's the only West kind of world there.
Yeah,
And it threatens them for some reason. It threatens the people that want religion and want tradition.
the country of international banking.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Which
I see
is
them as
so
the
interesting.
country of the international banking.
And you're right, they changed the names of the past too, so that it's harder to follow.
Yeah.
But like in the Bible, that's what I was talking about, like the Gog and Magog, the Gog and Magog.
Yeah, Gog and Magog.
And they were like in the Bible, it talks about these nations will combine. Well, the nations they're talking about, they don't say Turkey or Russia because they were named
Persia.
Persia, yes.
Yeah.
But then if you do, the history and then
Follow
you
it.
realize that, that's the same place as Persia.
And that's what they're talking about going on now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, they were talking about, they were talking about one of these other countries giving a nuke to Iran. You know what I mean?
I don't get that. I don't understand this whole nuke thing. How are we supposed to control?
That's what I'm saying. Like, we get to say who's got a nuke and who doesn't. And I've seen that too.
And also, how do we know? Like, how are we going to control for the next years upon years that these people don't get nukes?
Right.
I mean, Russia is,
Russia's
maybe Russia and them feel the same.
A nuke.
They all do. They all have most of them.
There's a couple that I'm like, oh wow, they got a nuke. Like India, I was like, they got a nuke. That's weird. And then like, of course, North Korea was kind of like, F you, we're gonna be a little
Yes. And they're on lockdown. They don't have any influence.
Nobody,
which is
wild.
So interesting.
Yeah.
I love looking stuff up about them.
Yeah, North Korea.
And even China and how the control they have.
Well, man, I had seen, there was this kind of influencer guy that had been going to China, and he was showing videos on, I think, TikTok of how like China is not as oppressive.
They're very modern.
As they tell us they are.
And but they do have control of what their society can read.
Yeah, they have used technology to kind of like the credit system and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they do that, but like I don't know, it just didn't seem like as oppressive as like I feel like they try to hype that shit up on us.
Well, right.
I just don't trust anything. I don't trust anything anymore.
I know that's what I love about Sean Ryan.
I have lost all trust.
He was saying that too. He was like, somebody was on there and they said, "Well, so what do you believe?" And he said, "Absolutely nothing."
Yeah.
I don't, and he was dead serious.
I was like, I felt that.
Yeah, I know. He's like, I don't believe anything I'm told ever.
Yeah, not anymore.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
That's gonna drive a person crazy.
Yeah,
I gotta believe in something.
It's crazy, dude.
I believe in my cats.
Well, he believes in Jesus. So.
He does.
Well, it seems like a lot more people do nowadays.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, Rogan was going to church. That's pretty
if
interesting.
Rogan changes, woo.
Yeah, that's
going to be significant.
That is significant, man.
It is.
There's something going on.
There's
a movement going on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure maybe he's praying for Liver King right now.
That whole thing. I think he's so entertaining.
He is entertaining. Dude, if this is all a ruse,
smart.
Dude, he's getting some serious clout.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, he was a Green Beret. He was a Green Beret.
Yeah.
And he went to college and stuff.
Yes.
For like,
and he's real into like his family and stuff. Like I keep watching to see if he's
very calm.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I really like Liver King.
Well, he's getting some mega clout right now. So if that was his goal, like, dude, if I were him, I'd come out and be like, just kidding, Rogan. You know what I mean? Well, he was pissed because Rogan didn't let him on the podcast.
And he feels like but he talks a lot about how he was bullied as a kid.
Yeah.
And he feels like Rogan and his bandwagon is bully. They're bullies. And I could see that. I could see from his perspective.
His angle, Yeah, maybe.
And how he's trying to take down that bully or whatever. But at the same time, I love that Rogan's not engaging.
No, he's not at all.
Anything,
he's
which
not
is very
at
mature
all.
of him.
Well, he's a mature dude, like. But it's just so fun. But he's getting mega clout. I'm seeing it all over my social media now.
Well, he's posting every 30 minutes.
Yeah, they said he was doing like $11,000 worth of steroids a month.
That's crazy. How would they know that?
I don't know. It's probably not true.
I mean, he looks like crazy, like he's been, and I guess that was the whole fallout was that he was actually using and trying to sell vitamins.
And that's one of Rogan's biggest things, and he had said that on his podcast, is he's like, just be honest about it.
Well, but I want to say, do you know how women have been dealing with that forever?
Yeah.
That
these are my real lips.
All these beautiful women that we're supposed to like look at magazines, and you can be just, this is all I'm doing is exercising 20 minutes a week, bitch.
Yeah. Right.
You are fake from head to toe.
Yeah.
I'll never look like that.
Right.
And I'm supposed to try. Like, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it is crazy. And now everything's AI anyway, so.
Oh, man, that Kris Jenner face. Have you seen her new face?
No.
Oh, they sliced
off
some
teenager. I saw where she looked
teenager.
super young.
Yeah, they've done
they sliced up a teenager?
I know they did. They sliced off some bitch's pretty little face and grafted it on her.
Really? Well, shit, she was hanging out with that billionaire.
Yeah, doing that.
Yeah, doing all his weird like plasma changing from dude, the billionaire, that dude weirds me out so much.
He looks weird.
Yeah, he is kind of
they all get really pale and they all get
Yeah,
where they
they're
don't
vampires.
have sun damage.
It's crazy.
And I'm like, how come none of these people, like, if you live in normal life, you have freckles and sun damage and a scar here or a spot here.
Yeah, right.
Not these people.
No, they're vampires, dude. It's like modern day vampires.
Well, that's what I feel like. I feel like Kris Jenner, I feel like they're so sick and twisted that they're probably
hacking someone's face off.
Or that, yeah, like they call it organ donating.
Yeah.
But really, they're like, pull the plug. She's 15 and she kind of looks like Kris Jenner.
Yeah.
Or they're making their own Jenners in a petri dish and growing it to a certain.
I think those women are witches, man.
Oh,
I think they come from a lineage of witches.
Well, there's a lot of talk about them being in a satanic cult. Like,
Have you seen the one lady that hangs out with all the celebrities? Not the Abramovich chick, not the one who does the spirit cooking, but there's another lady that looks crazy, and she's a witch, and she's married to
black hair.
Yeah.
Yes. Fashion designer.
Yes, she's married to the fashion designer.
Ooh.
Yes, dude. She hangs out with. I saw a video clip with her and Travis Scott, the rapper.
Yeah.
And she was like, "We will take care of you."
Yeah.
And
that's all those secret societies.
Man, it's crazy, dude.
Which people have said that forever. I mean, early on podcasts were saying, there's all kinds of secret societies.
Satanic secret societies.
Yeah, or just so elite that you can only be in this club.
Right.
And for some reason, that's so enticing to rich people.
Yeah.
Let's be more and more elite.
It's exclusive. You can be exclusive with us.
Yeah, you can make reservations and be exclusive.
Come, darling, come.
It's like wild, right?
Yeah, it is very crazy.
I mean, the only way to work against that is to be our own communities.
And isn't the Diddy trial over?
Yeah, they rested their case. So, I don't think that guy's going to get anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I
haven't really been paying much attention.
I have. And for me, the RICO case is bullshit.
It's like too much.
It's just, listen, he's a deprived, disgusting rich guy who's into disgusting sex.
Yeah.
That joined the club.
Right.
Like, all of them are like that.
How many people have been doing? Yeah, I don't know. It just...
And these women have some culpability.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess so. Kind of like Harvey Weinstein,
yes.
where they're like, now it's coming out and like, homegirl's doing the investigation, and she's like, dude, like they played a part in it.
Yeah, it's the story oldest time. Man wants beautiful woman trades sex for something.
Yeah.
Okay, that's forever. Whether it's for security in a house over your kids' heads that you've made this arrangement with your husband,
a Big Mac and some fries,
or
you know what I mean?
Yeah, who knows? But I mean,
there's those out there too. I just want a Big Mac and fries.
There's a lot of them out there, right?
Yeah.
That's all they need. They don't need a rich guy.
I can't afford a Big Mac and fries. I'm just kidding.
So, but it's true, and it's like, okay, so that's been happening. That is life. That is life. Men have this, and women have this, and you trade.
It's a trade-off.
Right? But then these people are like, oh, because I didn't hit it big and I didn't end up getting famous, and I'm not like poor Cassie. Was she abused? Of course she was abused. She was horribly abused.
Yeah. No, absolutely. He's kicking the crap out of her.
But that's not a RICO charge.
Right.
That's not.
So there's no other charges really, like no like abuse charges.
Well, they're saying that the whole point is they're saying he trafficked these women back and forth. But
well, what about the drugs too?
And that too. And here's the weird thing about it. I think that this obviously is a cover-up because if they were, so that guy that came, okay, there was a guy back in the day, it was years and years ago, and I've watched the interview and it's fascinating. But he bombed the Trump Hotel. He was
Yes,
going to bomb
yeah.
it, right?
Yes.
They arrest him, they take him back to the interview room, and these cops are just wanting to get down to the bombing of the Trump Hotel.
Right. Why?
He's talking about how he is P. Diddy's
That's an interesting
prostitute.
interview.
And not only that, but that he has P. Diddy's Sriracha vodka is a cover. The government
It's really running.
is really running liquid cocaine
Yeah.
internationally through people like Diddy.
Yeah.
Using
Yeah.
hip hop as a guise.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's what this man is saying.
Yeah.
So now he's getting busted on these charges. It's probably just so that the government doesn't get busted
Right.
on their
And they're
major-
probably saying, listen, we're going to let you off. You know what I mean?
Holy shit, yeah.
We're going to make sure you get
You'll
off.
get 10 years, you'll serve
Your
5.
rep's kind of fucked.
Right.
But like, we're going to make sure you don't spend any time in prison.
Yeah.
Or maybe very little.
He'll might, but it won't be like
crazy.
worse. But that's what that man said. He said that they would empty, that whole thing was just set up as a prop, and that
Yeah.
really it's liquid cocaine.
Yeah.
And that P. Diddy and other hip hop, a lot of artists, not just hip
Yeah,
hop,
I know.
have been internationally
Yeah.
smuggling this shit all over the place.
Huh?
Because they do it, the government smuggles stuff on low levels and really high levels.
I mean, all the way back to the Iran-Contra deal when they were
Yes.
smuggling, the CIA was smuggling guns. To all these people,
Exactly.
yeah, to Iran, I think, or selling them or something. Something crazy.
Yes, yeah. So this is probably just a slap on the wrist because he got out of control and beat his girlfriends up. He probably wasn't supposed to do that.
Yeah, that and like, well, and that's what I had heard is like he had got into a spat with Ciroc, with the CEOs of Ciroc and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
maybe.
And so they were like, all right, and took him down.
Yeah.
But what's interesting in that interview is that dude talking about he starts talking about the Black Illuminati.
Dude, I totally believe it.
Yeah.
Totally believe it. He said there's a black Illuminati and there's a white Illuminati.
The brulee or
The
something.
brulee.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's real. If you look it up,
Yeah.
it's a
I
real
need to look it up.
college black, what do they call them in college?
I figured it came from like a royal family.
No.
From back, way back in the day, like a black royal family or something.
No, if you look it up, it's like.
Okay, and we're back. Quick break.
So anyway, but the brulee thing we were talking
Yeah.
about, the black Illuminati,
Yeah.
it's actually a fraternity. So
It's a
the
fraternity.
origins of it is the black
Is it
fraternity.
a part of the Illuminati?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just saying, like, it's the idea
It's a
originally was
fraternity.
fraternity for black educated
Very
men.
influential.
And and then it morphed from there into this, into a part of the Illuminati.
I wonder if Frederick Douglass started it. Did you know he started the Republican Party, Frederick
I've
Douglass?
heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that the Republicans and Democrats were so opposite than they used to be, now.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
it's just like they want to make things so confusing and so, yeah.
But anyway, the firefighters.
Yeah, what is going on with that?
Some psychopath started a brush fire.
But why firefighters?
I don't know, because people are so psychotic and mad. I guess I don't know the whole story, but he ambushed them and he ended up killing
Shot
two.
of them. Yeah.
I know, and that's so sad.
They're
Like,
just
they're
trying
just
to
out
put out
doing
a
their
fire
job.
doing their job. Yeah, dude, it's so crazy.
I don't know what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll find out more, but I was like, what? Firefighters?
No, I thought that was weird too.
Yeah, why firefighters?
Super sad.
Nutcases, man.
Well, I mean, I don't know. People are like, I've never understood that. Like, if you want to go out, go out. But why are you going to take a bunch of innocent people with you?
Yeah, I know.
It's so
Well, that's my theory of like, back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, there was serial killers, and now
Yes.
forensics have gotten so advanced that they'll catch you, before you can get to your third victim. So now it's like the people who would be serial killers have now become mass shooters.
Yeah.
It's evolved
The
from
sickness.
yeah, it's evolved to like, let's see how many we can take out at one time now,
I know.
kind of thing. That's my theory.
The Koberger trial is going to start soon too. I can't
Oh
wait
yeah,
for
dude,
that.
that's interesting.
Oh, he's psycho.
Yeah, he's
And of course, there's all these people out there saying, "But what if he didn't do it? Like, what if it was somebody else?" I'm like, he did it.
no, yeah.
He is so interesting. He'll be a case study forever.
I'm gonna go ahead and call him guilty before proven innocent.
I just love that he was a student, like a
yeah, dude, that's probably the most
interesting.
wild, interesting part about it is that he was like a criminal psychology student
Yeah.
or whatever.
And then one of his professors was one of my favorite
Yeah, I know. She's in a lot of those
profilers.
shows and stuff. I bet she gets paid bank to go on those shows.
She's still a professor, too, in Idaho.
Yeah.
I forgot her name now.
Yeah.
Catherine something.
I know you're talking about.
But, yeah. I've always, if I could redo my life, and I guess I really could still do this. I was thinking about that. I was like, if I could actually be a police officer if I wanted to be. If I wanted to, because if I could redo everything and I would have been focused on college, I would have done criminal profiling.
Yeah.
That would have been so interesting.
You could be a sleuth now.
That's true.
You could be an internet sleuth,
but
dude.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, right.
No,
It
but you
takes
could,
work.
and there's a whole show on Paramount called Sleuths, and it's about armchair detectives.
Yeah.
And they
They're
solve
badass.
a lot of.
They're
yeah.
badass, dude. They help out. There's also one. I was watching one of those shows for a brief moment, and they had a podcast. There was a sleuth. They had like a sleuth podcast or something.
Oh, there's a girl named Annie Elise that Steph and I listen to. She's awesome. She just started in her room like this, and everybody has her on their shows and stuff now.
Really?
And she doesn't have a degree in anything, but she just had an interview with Sherry Papini.
Oh yeah.
The Sherry Papini case. Oh, talk about
so obvious.
Getting into somebody's head. I want to take her whole brain apart and just. That girl's crazy. To be able to hoax a whole kidnapping and still try and say you didn't do it.
Still try to sell it. Still try to sell it. She should have been in insurance.
Yes, the lawyers. The ball. She should have been in government. The balls it takes to lie, bold face.
Yeah, keep it going.
She must believe it. Because
maybe, dude. Like that is a thing, dude. Like she probably does. Actually, she probably believes everything she's saying.
I don't know.
She fabricates it in her head. I've known people like that.
I haven't ever really been able to do that.
You fabricate everything in your own head. Your perspective is
to justify your perspective.
Yeah.
Or justify your actions.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never been able to do that. I mean,
I'm more of like try to stick with reality and like what. And that's why it's so weird because a lot of people can't they can't look inward. If I get where they can't reflect, and that's wild to me because I feel like all I do is reflect because it's like if say in a relationship and it goes south and I've always looked back and go, well, where did I go wrong? This is what I did wrong. It's like try to change
such a
that.
Blessing.
Yeah,
to be able
some
to
people
reflect.
can't do that. I've known people, dated people who can't do that.
I've have family members that do that. Where they cannot have any introspection.
Right.
But they believe it so much that it relieves them of having any real responsibility.
Right.
Yeah. And that's not fair.
It's not healthy for them either. You're never going to get better
or peace
if
of
you can't
mind.
Do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're never going to get any better, man.
That's the only thing I want now. It's like I've screwed my life up on so many occasions, and every single time something really big happens where I've demolished something or, just because our patterns and our childhood and all the reasons and drugs and alcohol. And then I sit back and I'm like, last time this happened, it took me to a more mature place. And eventually I got to a more peace of mind attitude. Yeah, but why do I have to blow it up every 10 years to get there? It's like, good Lord, Stephanie.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I got. I was like, okay, this is not working.
We're so complex. Human beings are so complex.
Yeah.
And there's so many
hard-headed.
layers. Yeah. So hard-headed.
Hard-headed, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, the introspection, I don't understand how people can't do that. But a lot of people can't do that. But,
right.
Or making up that whole reality,
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is hard. It is hard. Sometimes it's so hard to really see yourself the way others see you.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good.
No, it is. It's
But there is.
And a lot of times you see yourself as way less than what other people see you.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
I know. I was talking to my friend today, and she was talking about how, and I always call it Catholic guilt, but she was talking about how, nobody needs to abuse me because I abuse myself. If I screw up, I'll beat myself up so much.
Yeah, I do too. I'm too hard on myself.
It ends up being a negative.
Yeah.
It's at some point you got to let it go.
You got to have some confidence.
Forgive yourself.
And let it go. Move on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it is early. It's early, so maybe we'll see. I thought for sure, and I mean, we still have time to pop off to World War III, but I thought for sure we were going to start seeing bombs.
It's still, I mean, it's still, a lot of people are saying we are in World War
I think we
III.
have
Or
been.
actually, a lot of them are saying World War IV because they say the Cold War was actually World War III.
Yeah.
Just a different kind of war.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's turmoil.
Don't you
Total
think it
turmoil.
probably started when the whole Russia thing?
With Ukraine?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that started World War III.
Yeah.
It's just been a slow trickle. And everyone's using other
Well,
people.
now, and that's the thing, too. It's like there's still the whole threat of China going into Taiwan.
Yeah.
So that would be the next one, probably.
But that's the thing that's so frustrating is that is they have a contract.
Well, yeah, but, and then it's so crazy.
It is
Because
weird.
it's saying that, like, it would be detrimental to us because of the microchips and the microprocessors, and then, like, China would be the leader in technology.
So
and,
what?
You know what I mean? It's like,
so
aren't they
sick
kind
of
of
that.
already?
They are. They have been.
Right.
I remember when we first started talking about all this stuff, I was so harping on China.
Yeah.
Because that was the first door that I ever, realized that, oh my gosh, there is a whole nother nation that is way more advanced. Not only are they more advanced, but they have more loyal citizens, and they have just some of the things that they do.
I'd move to Japan.
I want to move to Russia.
Right. All right. I would go to Japan. Would be cool. They're pretty advanced.
Cool. Yeah.
And they're a lot more chill than they used to be around World War II. So.
Yeah. I don't know, but it is so interesting because it's like these wars are happening, and our way of living has skyrocketed. So we're all being very affected by it.
Yeah, it's out there. It's
But
polarizing.
those chips are supposed to be. Aren't we supposed to have the technology now? I've heard.
I don't
understand.
We got all these tech billionaires, but yet they're making the microprocessors.
What's his face? Elon. He started making chips here on U.S. soil.
Did it? Yeah.
Yeah, he started the first chip factory. I don't know if it's fully opened yet, but he's been in the process of building it. And apparently, I guess it's a natural element or something that we don't have a lot of under our feet.
Right.
Which is why we keep going to war with other people.
Well, yeah. No, that's that whole video I did about the quantum computing. That's another thing. China has been on the other side of the moon for 2 years getting helium-3. Did you know that?
No.
China is they're mining on the other side of the moon, on the dark side of the moon, and they're I don't know how, but they're pulling out helium-3 and bringing it back here because they need helium-3 to keep the quantum computers cool enough to function properly. So yeah, dude, that's a wild one.
How did they know the moon had it?
I mean, just,
Stat science.
Yeah, scientists and physicists and stuff like that.
And what's the dark side of the moon besides the Pink Floyd song? I mean, is there really a dark side of the moon, or that's just what they call?
Yeah, there is a dark side of the moon. Because,
I don't understand
the
that
moon,
either.
the way it rotates, we only see one side of it.
Well, how'd
So
they
there is
get
a dark
there?
side.
And
I don't know. That's interesting. I need to look that up. Like,
and
how
how
did they
come
get
we
there
haven't gone to the moon?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, don't you think if we had gone to the moon once and 30 years ago we would be going?
That's the question.
It's all fake.
I don't trust anything.
I don't understand it.
I don't trust anybody.
They're making us think that they're doing things like that, and they're not.
Yeah, I know it. Well, another thing about Elon, he's been pretty quiet.
He got in trouble.
He got. And then, I saw something today that he was like talking crap about the big beautiful bill again. So now he's like refuting.
I think it's fine to not agree with.
Yeah, no.
And also,
they blow it off.
It's also very frustrating because as a Republican 4 years ago, when I'm sitting there watching them stuff Ukraine bills into their bills, and we're all like, "That's not fair. That's not fair." We're doing the same exact thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't agree on it on anything. Like, quit making these bills so massive, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, and then what's crazy is
why do they do that?
And then Trump and Thomas Massey are going at it, and I like Thomas Massey.
Everybody loves Massey.
Yeah, everybody does. Everybody.
It's like the only one that has.
And they're going at, but dude, do you see his glow up?
No.
You haven't seen his dude. He looks like
different?
a G now.
Why?
I don't know. He doesn't look like the same nerdy guy he was. I don't know what happened. He lost his wife, and now he's single, and
that'll do it.
Yeah,
he's going to the gym.
He's done it. I keep seeing pictures of him and Trump and like their feud and stuff, and I'm like, this dude had a total.
It's
glow
like
up.
Alex.
Alex Jones. Yeah,
Alex Jones looks totally
different. He's got a glow up. Yeah, for sure.
And who was the other one? Oh, the one that cracks me up the most is the Jeff Bezos before and after.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What money can do.
Yeah.
Get you a tan and some muscles and a little plastic surgery.
They had their wedding too, and
heard.
there was all kinds of weird people at the wedding.
Oh, the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Oprah has disappointed me beyond. I will never take her back. She has ruined our relationship.
Yeah, she's wild.
Man, she did so much for the culture for so long, and then she got too rich.
Yeah.
You can't get too much money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And that was what was interesting about that video clip that was going around with her talking to the woman who said she was in a cult from back in the 80s and stuff. And I was like, this is what Oprah used to do.
Yeah. And also, how come nobody ever investigated stuff like that? Seems like that would be really interesting to get into. But I believe those.
What they called it 90s,
abuse.
they called it the satanic panic. Mm-hmm. Well, nobody's panicking, but it's still
out
there.
That was all about kidnapping, because it was like that era in the 80s where like a bunch of little boys and newspaper routes and people would go missing, and then they would start to investigate it, and they never found these kids.
Yeah.
Well, come to find out, it's because of
satanic sex cults and stuff.
People have been stealing children forever.
What about the 350,000 missing migrant kids and stuff?
And the 1,000 from Hawaii nobody can find. And then you dig deeper, and the foster care system has been on it forever.
Yeah,
that makes so much sense.
Yeah, there was that. They had found a bunch of little dead bodies in the backyard of a nun cemetery school or something. I don't know. I mean, it could have been, but I've seen it pop back up again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. And then, like the foster care system, you get corrupt people into that. I mean, it's just, just sickos that realize, there's a place you can go and adopt a bunch of kids for your own, what you want to do with them. Great, let me use it.
What is that?
I don't know.
What is that? What is that urge? I don't understand it.
Well, it's bred into. I mean, I don't know. It's just it's disgusting.
It's wild.
It's dysfunction.
Dude. It's crazy that it's Tim Tebow doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, good for Tim.
I can hardly watch him because I start wanting to tear up. Dude.
Oh.
Tim Tebow is like doing it.
See, I feel like you could do stuff like that. I feel like if you gave yourself half a chance, you could get involved in like community and help people.
Oh yeah.
I just do. I see you like eventually.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, because you've always had a big heart, and I'm like, well, yeah, and you could. I mean, I know it. I guess I don't know. You want to help your own community, and North Richland Hills doesn't feel necessarily like your own community.
Yeah, I think that's probably a lot of it too. Is like I don't feel stationary. So
yeah, but I think one day it would be neat.
Yeah, I would love to. I'd like to run for something one day. Like in my 50s or something.
You should do it.
I would totally run for something.
You should
mayor
all or something. These videos, and then you start getting traction, and then like in a few years you should run for some office, somewhere.
Till they pull up some shit I said like 10 years ago.
Right.
And I'm like, oh.
Well, apparently that doesn't really matter to have a record or whatever. I don't know. It's exhausting to think about.
Yeah.
So messed up. But the wedding of Jeff Bezos, I saw that where they basically rented the whole island or the whole Venice area.
Yeah, the whole city did.
Did you see? I had posted it on my anyway. It was a video showing same world or
I saw
same
that.
world.
I saw somebody else post it,
and it was like the hunger in Gaza and all the starving people, and then Jeff Bezos, who has all of the money in the world, who could actually help.
He could help.
Why don't they help?
I don't know.
Wouldn't you help? I feel like I would help.
Well, because they're in this weird club.
Because they're stocking it all away underground, thinking they're going to outlive the nuclear bombs.
Yeah, and Armageddon.
Yeah.
Which is so wild. It's like the obsession with these people and wanting to live forever is trippy.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is interesting because we all avoid death conversations like the plague, and it's the one thing we all have in common.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all born and we are all going to die.
Right.
So you would think that would be a topic of conversation,
instead
but
of trying to fight it and aging.
Fight it with
It's so wild.
I know, and aging. I've never been grossed out by aging.
Yeah.
You know.
I just always like it's gonna happen one day.
I know. It is hard when it starts to happen to you, but still.
Your body's breaking down and your back's all jacked up.
You can't sleep in the middle of the night because you're sweating.
Or you got to pee for the 7th time.
Ugh, so exhausting. Or you can't eat like you should because your appetite's gone. Or you overeat because you're stressed.
Yeah.
All the stuff. All the human stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of human stuff, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what else has been going on, but a lot. And then tomorrow something else new will happen.
Yeah, who knows? What
Aren't
was
you
it? I was
tired?
listening to
I'm
like
tired.
Patrick Bet David podcast, and they were like, "Okay, we're taking a break for a week. Hopefully, we've had like 4 emergency podcasts in the last couple weeks."
Yeah,
And so
I
it's,
don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, Trump, apparently called the international courts and was like, "You should drop these charges and stuff." I'm like, "What's that about?"
I did not know that.
Yeah, I just found out today. I
That
was like,
sucks.
"Why, dude? Why are you even?"
Like, if he has
He was
done
saying
something wrong, then let the people
he was
judge
saying
him.
it would cause an issue with aid and something or something, dude. I don't know.
Well, and I've heard like Netanyahu was going to be.
BB Satan Yahoo.
I thought he was going to not be elected again, and then some.
I know
Then
that's
he
what's
pulled
so
some
crazy
kind
because
of.
the Israeli people did not favor him.
Yeah.
His rating has been low. That nobody here on the news is going to tell us that.
Yeah.
It's just so
But
wild.
he keeps getting. Do they
Because
have
they
elections?
keep going into these wars and doing this,
Yeah.
dude. Like that's what I'm saying.
Hadn't he been
And I
in power
think
for like
I think he was
years?
also being investigated for October 7th for possibly not because they have the best intel agency in the world, dude. They have the best intelligence. How did you not know that that was going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a country that you guys have had pretty much control over for a long time, and you didn't know that they were going to do that. Fishy.
It's probably all rigged.
Sus.
Yeah.
Super
It's
sus.
a shame.
A lot
Yeah.
of games, man. So many
Mhm.
games.
Mhm.
Just nothing but games being played.
I know.
And then
Which seems
with
so
people's lives at
strange.
risk too, man.
Because it seems like our natural tendency would to not like none of us want to have war.
I ain't playing games.
I don't want to fight with like my neighbors.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
know.
dude. Speaking of that, little bitty petri dish of a social experiment. But there was a documentary. It's on Netflix, and it's called The Poop Cruise.
Oh yeah, I keep hearing about it.
Oh, dude. But it was, it's so gross. So these people
Did you watch it?
Yeah. Yeah. These people, go on a cruise, which to me, cruises are freaky as shit anyway.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Because you're out in the middle of the ocean.
On a floating-
You don't know what's Titanic. You
on
never
a
know.
20-story building, and I don't know. It's just weird. Like the fact
I've
that they
always thought I would go on one.
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't, but the concept of a floating city is weird to me.
Yeah.
It's just strange.
Massive
Community. But so I started looking into cruises because there's a show called Cruise Ship Murders. So and it was all about how and on this documentary they talk about it too. But like the guests that arrive, and it's an American thing, of course.
Oh yeah,
it's an American thing.
Yeah.
Us fat fucks get on a boat and eat as much as we can and drink as much as we can and want to give me. It's disgusting. But anyway. So they were talking about how like the cruise ship people that work these cruises have a whole different life. I mean, they're scraping by, barely making money, but it's funny because they have their own community. And this one girl said that there was so much sex on the ship and people, it's like a restaurant.
I thought about that applying for a cruise, like when I was in my 20s.
No, I know I did too.
Yeah.
I did too.
Now, what's up, guys?
But anyway, so this million bazillion dollar cruise ship that they had made. Carnival. They had made all this money, but just like every corporation, they never invested it in their ships to make sure the ships were nice and top notch.
Really?
They just they do it to the planes too.
Yeah.
They just keep using them until they fall out of the damn sky. Well, so they were doing this, and this had been like the 7th time this had happened as far as like something catching on fire on a cruise, but they just never fixed it. So these people are out on a cruise, and it's supposed to be a real quick thing, like just a few days, right? So they get out onto the ocean, and there's a fire. There's a fire up in the engines. Well, so it starts with all the electricity goes down. And they're like, oh, shit. Well, then they come on the intercom, and they're like, nobody panic. We'll figure it out. It's going to be a few hours. Yeah. So everybody makes do, and they're like, oh, okay. Well, then eventually it takes so long that they open the bar, and they're like, just let everybody get drunk. So then everybody starts getting wasted. Well, then as the hours and hours goes on, and there's no light, and there's no running water, people are getting out of control.
Yeah.
Well, not only do they go nutty, I'm thinking it's a cruise ship, you would share food, and you would deal. Yeah. No.
They start hoarding it from each other.
They start hoarding it.
Really?
And all these people were like, instead of taking one bottle of water, they were taking as much as they could.
I could see that.
They were getting their mattresses and like walling off parts of the ship and like Hunger Games.
Really?
I was like, are we serious? If something goes wrong here, we are so screwed.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
Where you would think they would.
That was on the poop cruise?
On the poop cruise. Yeah. So the reason, of course, they call it that is the electricity was off so long, and the fire ended up devastating all of the mechanics. So nothing came on. They had to send tugboats out to tug this damn ship to the Alabama coast. Wow. They couldn't even go back to the Gulf of Mexico coast.
How long were they out there?
So they were supposed to be there like 2 days on and then 2 days back. They ended up being gone for like 6 days without any power, any food, and any running water.
Wow.
So everyone was on the ship starving, and then the water backfilled so much that you could, every time you stepped, you were in pee and pee.
Oh, no.
Yes. And
what a nightmare.
What a nightmare. They couldn't they couldn't lay anything on the ground because it was filled with shit water.
Oh no.
So everybody kept going to the top, and then the further you got to the top, the more space they were running out of. So everyone starts fighting.
Yeah,
I was like, we are so fucked.
That's crazy, dude. I gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's good.
I've gotta watch that.
It's really good.
That's crazy.
And just the idea, because, it has all these Americans on there talking about it, and just the way we are so spoiled and so wired to not have any suffering.
Yeah.
And immediately when something happened, all these big, fat, gluttonous Americans were like, mine, 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 mine.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I could see that.
I know.
I could see that.
So if this power grid goes down, which it will one day, we're screwed. We're pretty screwed.
Man, I just want to get in the middle of nowhere once again.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. Then you'd already be out in the middle of nowhere without a whole lot of stuff. So.
Well, and like Candace was making these great points the other day. I was watching her, and she was talking about how, we're supposed to be the smartest we've ever been in society, but yet we don't have the skills to cook. We don't know how to grow. That too.
I heard that.
We can't grow our own food. Nestle. It was such a good example, but the milk that we produce naturally, we handed that off to Nestle to make formula to feed our babies.
Yeah, it's just so weird when she put it in perspective. It's like, what?
Why would we do that?
I don't know.
We have allowed them to say that there's something wrong with our natural body.
And that's what they say now.
Yes.
It's like, it's not good for your baby. Yeah, dude. Like, get out of here.
What?
That's natural reproduction.
And we're the only ones, because we have the ability to have a conscious mind. We're the only ones that they can fuck with that.
Right.
And make us think something else.
Yeah.
Like an animal doesn't do that.
Well, that's why, and have you ever heard of that whole, I heard how, it was interesting that animals, like, we're the only animal that will actually commit suicide too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Every other animal tries to survive at
all costs.
Yes. Yeah. But we don't.
Yeah.
We'll commit suicide. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really wild.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, they've managed to hijack mother's milk.
Yeah, dude. And lie to everybody.
And bottle it.
And make everybody feel like it's bad.
And make money off of it.
That's interesting.
Wild. That right there is the perfect example of what has happened to our society.
Yeah.
So anyways, her point was how easy it would be to gain that power back, because all we would have to do is turn it off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that the solution?
Our food. Yes.
Well, then, okay, well, like...
I think that's the solution.
Yeah.
Is to learn how to have your own food and water. Build your own, just like they did not 50 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Like she was saying.
She's right, though, yeah.
She's totally right.
People used to know how to do things.
She said it started with, because she grew up, I guess, in New York. I didn't realize that. I think she said New York. But anyway, she said it started when they moved to like Georgia or somewhere, and she was like having babies, and she's like, I want to be able to grow stuff, you know? And she said she walked outside because she remembered her pawpaw growing food and stuff. Right. And she was like, I don't even know the seasons. Like, I don't even know what's supposed to. Let's just start with that. And I'm like, it's true. If we really wanted to take power back just in our own little bubble, you could. You could turn technology off. You could grow your own food. You could figure out a way to source water. I think it's going to have to come to that.
Yeah, it probably will.
It is.
It will probably force us to come to that. You know what I mean? Like,
once the grid is knocked out.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. The survivors. How much craziness will have to unfold before we all realize, we don't actually have to kill each other. We can just grow our own food again.
Right.
Feed our own children again.
These supermarkets.
Yeah.
That's the thing when you said about the poop cruise is like they didn't invest any money into their product, basically, and That's another reason why it's best to go with family-owned businesses
Yes.
and small business, because they care about their business.
Yes.
These corporations don't.
And that has been a good tide change. I mean, that is something really neat and special that it has begun to happen as people have picked
Yeah, they're
up.
gravitating more
Yes,
toward
and
small
that
business.
we are thinking. And like when he talks about, sanctions and putting tariffs and all that
Yeah.
stuff, it's actually such a good thing because it forces America to make its products.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It might be a little more expensive for a while
Right.
to make those products,
But
but
nobody wants to
the
sacrifice.
idea that we don't have those resources in our own country is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, like our medicine has all been outsourced.
Yeah, dude. I didn't realize
Why?
everything has been outsourced.
China.
Yeah, dude.
That's why they're winning at everything.
Yeah.
They have
well,
all of our
they
money.
play the long game.
They also have a ton more people. They have a lot of people.
Yeah, they do have a lot of people, but
A lot of
they play the long game for sure.
Mm-hmm. While keeping their own culture intact. I mean, they
That's
really
very
put back into their own system a lot, Like, that somebody was telling me that, their algorithms.
We're just ran by sellouts, dude.
Yeah.
We're ran by nothing but sellouts.
Yeah. What's the root of all evil?
It's so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's another empowering thing. I mean, it is really sad, but why do we give our power away to these people?
Yeah, I know.
I'm taking my power back.
I don't know. The system has been totally corrupted.
It makes you a handicap. It makes you not rely on yourself.
Right. And that's that's what people argue about. It's like what America is about. It's about people being responsible for themselves. And,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But they've tried to take that away for decades now.
Yeah. I know it.
And have slowly succeeded.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I love it all. I love thinking about it all, but it's just very hard to understand how we've done this, how this has all been managed.
Yeah,
it's just a bad.
What the hell?
Yeah.
And you don't realize it, and then you just suddenly wake up and go,
I don't
"Wait
remember
a minute."
Gran and Papa, they were still in good America. I don't remember them being all that concerned about out resources from China.
No.
And I don't.
No.
It seems like all of it happened so quickly, or something.
Yeah, or it happened slowly over time, but then it all of a sudden also happened quickly. It's like
I think it's because technology. That's
the last. I mean, since the 90s.
Well, that too
has been wild.
Yeah. Well, Miss Sherry used to tell us, think about it like this, until the wheel was invented.
Yeah.
There was not really any technology.
Right.
Everything it wasn't like that. But then once the wheel was invented, was it the wheel and the electricity?
Automobile.
From that point, 1900 maybe, from that point forward has been crammed in a bunch of technology.
Yeah, dude. It really has.
Kind of shows that we're on a certain trajectory.
Right. And I don't think it's the right one. But yeah, it has. I mean, since the 1900s, it's been bam, 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 then computers and space and all that. It's whoa.
And now it's so
dude, that has to have come from somewhere.
It definitely came from aliens or something.
Something.
Yeah. Because why would we all of a sudden know all of this?
Just out of nowhere, we got all this
knowledge.
Specific technology. And
yeah, and not only that, but it's so advanced that we're talking about quantum computing. And half of us have hardly even learned the internet now.
Yeah.
And it's now they're on to quantum computing, and it's
that's
oh my god,
dude.
Yeah.
The multiverse.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then what's so cool about it is the more that they learn and the more this technology is taken over and the more we know, the more it goes right back to, oh yeah, there's multi-universes. Yeah. Everybody's multi-dimensional. There is a source and a God. It all goes right back to what basically
it does seem like, in a sense, if you're kind of paying attention, that it does seem like science and religion are kind of meshing now.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. I do like that part.
We'll see. Yeah. Anyway.
Cool, man.
I don't know what else. There's so many topics that we can join. Are twins conjoined, or do you rejoin? What's conjoining?
We can rejoice. No.
Rejoice.
We can rejoice next week.
And be glad. Yes. Yeah.
Cool, man.
All right.
Well, holla.
Holla at your boy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Deuces.
Thanks for watching.